Live from downtown Macon, this is WGXA News live on YouTube.
Good evening, Middle Georgia. I'm Amanda Peralta.
I'm Greg Lloyd. Amanda and I thank you for watching WGXA News at 5:30. It's a busy weekend at one Perry apartment complex after multiple agencies responded to a stabbing attack. According to Perry police, Terry Parker was found stabbed at the Berkshire Court Apartments. Now, first responders were able to get the Sumter County man to the hospital, but he later died from his injuries. Police were able to get a suspect quickly, arresting Angelique Devereaux on multiple charges, including murder. No motive has been given for why Parker was stabbed.
And in Macon, Bibb investigators are looking for who pulled the trigger Friday and shot a man on Montpelier Avenue. According to the sheriff's office, the 30-year-old was shot in the leg while he was standing in a parking lot just before midnight. He is listed in stable condition in a hospital, and no information was given on the suspect, and the shooting investigation is ongoing.
And Bibb deputies are still looking for who's responsible for shooting a man in the foot on Friday evening. Investigators say someone shot a 20-year-old man in the foot as he walked along Bartlett Street just after 6:30. Deputies say they're working to learn more about what led to that shooting.
In Crisp County, a murder suspect search leads to the arrest of 5 others for drug and gun charges. Crisp County deputies and the Mid-South Special Response Team arrested murder suspect 18-year-old Aunt Halik Jordan at a home on 15th Street. 5 others, including a 16-year-old, were arrested after deputies discovered marijuana, cocaine, and guns in the home.
3 men got themselves into jail after a botched attempt to smuggle weed and other contraband behind bars at Washington State Prison. The sheriff's office there says Kalian Robinson, Taquavian Ekong, and DeQuavian Dawkins were caught by guards when they attempted to bring the contraband inside. The trio is now facing smuggling and marijuana distribution charges.
As the family makes plans to bury their loved one, they're also speaking out against how quickly people resort to gun violence.
It's been a week since Frederick Scott was gunned down at a Shell gas station in Putnam County. The alleged shooter turned himself in on murder charges.
Our Gloria Ruth Finney spoke to the family about their plea for people to think twice before reaching for a gun.
I still can't believe it. In total shock. It feels unreal.
Sharaka Melton says her family is in the process of making funeral plans nearly a week after her cousin was murdered at a Shell convenience store. It was this gas station in Putnam County where last Sunday, around 5 p.m., Frederick Lamar Scott Jr. was shot and killed.
He was the life of the party, always trying to get a laugh, always smiling.
Ever since Scott was little, his family has called him Muffin, and his death has left a wound in the hearts of his mother, stepfather, and cousin.
Gun violence is never the answer. We have to seek other ways to help with our controversy, our differences, rather than shoot and be killed.
But killings don't happen often in Putnam County. In fact, 23-year-old LaJuan Evans of Monticello actually turned himself in the day after police say he shot Scott, who was unarmed, once in the chest at this Shell station gas pump. I wanted to know even more about the circumstances of Scott's murder, so I went down to the Eatonton Police Department, where Chief of Police Howell Cardwell says the shooter doesn't have a history of violence.
This is still an ongoing investigation. We still have numerous witnesses to interview and people to speak to about it.
But regardless of the reasons behind the murder, Scott's family is grieving, missing their Muffin.
Whenever you remember my cousin, I always remember his smile, his demeanor, his ability to make everyone laugh, him being the life of the party. You know, that's what we should remember, and that's what we need to focus on as a community, and making sure that we are teaching our children coming up in this area to make sure that we keep this community peaceful and that everyone get along to be able to live another day.
Now Scott's family is asking for donations to help cover funeral expenses. You'll be able to find a link to their GoFundMe page by searching the story on our website at WGXA.tv.
Washington County first responders had to deal with 2 bad wrecks over the weekend. The Georgia State Patrol says a motorcyclist is dead after wrecking on Waco Mill Road near Boogaloo Road Saturday night. Troopers identified the driver as Gary Russell and say he was thrown from his Harley Davidson when it left the road and flipped.
Also in Washington County, one 16-year-old is dead and another is in trouble with the law after crashing early Saturday morning. And the State Patrol says alcohol played a factor. According to troopers, the teens were driving a Chevy Malibu on Waco Mill Road when they veered off the road and overturned. The passenger, Sanaya Montgomery, was ejected from the car and died from her injuries at a hospital. The driver was not identified because of their age, but troopers say they were arrested on suspicion of DUI. And in Peach County, a Barnesville man lost his life after a head-on collision with another vehicle. Georgia State troopers say Frederick Walker crossed the center line on Highway 49 and hit another vehicle head-on just before 8 this morning. Walker was pronounced dead at a local hospital. The wreck closed both lanes of 49 for over an hour. The crash remains under investigation.
More tragedy on Georgia waterways this summer as a teen drowns at Georgia Veterans State Park in Crisp County. According to the Crisp County Sheriff's Office, first responders were called out Saturday afternoon to look for a 15-year-old boy who may have drowned. After just 30 minutes of searching, they pulled his body from Lake Blackshear. It's still unclear why the teen went underwater and couldn't get back up. The Sheriff Billy Hancock called it an unimaginable loss for the family.
A portion of the East Coast main highway system, I-95, is now closed, and officials say it will be a while before things are back to normal. A tanker truck carrying a petroleum-based product caught fire under the highway on I-95 in Philadelphia. It caused part of the bridge to collapse, officials say. Philadelphia Mayor Jim Kenney will issue a disaster declaration to free up state and federal funds. In a tweet, the mayor advised affected commuters to, quote, plan for alternate routes or modes of travel. Pennsylvania officials say traffic in the area is expected to be affected for a while.
We expect that to take some number of months. To expedite this process and to cut through the red tape, tomorrow morning I plan to issue a disaster declaration, allowing the Commonwealth to immediately draw down federal funds and move quickly to repair and reconstruct this roadway.
Governor Shapiro also confirmed he's in touch with Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg and that the White House is promising federal assistance. Another humid and hot day, and I know that Chief Meteorologist Ryan Sinnott is going to say I'm not allowed to complain, but it did wake me up this morning. So, I need you to do something about that.
No, we need the rain. Rain is nice for sleeping. I don't know why you have a guilty conscience and couldn't sleep through it.
I'm okay with it when it doesn't wake me up, but when I'm awoken from my slumber.
That was some heavy rain.
Yeah, I have a problem with that.
Well, that's just telling you to get up. Get up. I don't know. I can't help you there. But again, we've been dealing with rain and storms. When it's not raining, it's hot and humid. Our Wilson Bright Heating and Air Skycast Network, downtown Macon, we had a downpour earlier, but the sun popped right back out when that shower moved to the south. Roads are already dry in downtown Macon. Now, most of the rain and thunderstorm activity really starting to shift off towards the south. We had some intense storms coming out of Lawrence County, heading into Trutland County. Sopperton, heavy rainfall, lightning moving into your neck of the woods, back towards the west. Pulaski County, Bleckley County, Hawkinsville to Cochran. Very heavy rainfall down towards the south and west Americas. Sumter as well as Crisp County. You're kind of quiet right now, but we'll be watching this cluster of storms. It may briefly reach severe limits. And we do have that level 2 threat for severe storms across South Georgia, as we could see some gusty winds. Severe storms remain in the forecast the rest of this week. I'll tell you why coming up in Maine Weather.
Now's a great time to download the WGXA weather app. Ryan will be back shortly with your 10-day forecast. Even more controversy coming out of the city of Gordon. Last week, we told you of the growing tension among city council members over credit card purchases. Now, some citizens want even more answers.
This time, it's about why a paid holiday is going unrecognized. That way, Raina Plunkett was the only media there and brings us the latest from the chaotic council meeting.
All in favor of saying aye? Aye. All not in favor of saying no?
No. No.
Minutes after Gordon council members Terry Eady and George Wynn opposed the adoption of Juneteenth as a recognized city holiday, tempers flared.
Are the city of Gordon paying their employees for that holiday? That's a yes or no question. I don't want to hear about no Colorado, no weed, no nothing. Aren't they getting paid for their state holidays?
He ain't gonna answer it because the answer is no.
Now that's the you on.
Gordon resident Shannon Burke was among the dozens of disgruntled African American citizens who said the issue of state workers getting paid for the holiday in 2023 shouldn't be so white or black.
Here it is in Gordon, Georgia. Juneteenth is considered a federal holiday. It is Georgia state recognized, and here within the city within Georgia, we're fighting them to recognize Juneteenth as a state holiday. Just like July 3rd or July 4th is recognized as a state holiday, and we recognize that equally.
According to Pew Research Center, every state has passed a resolution recognizing Juneteenth at least as a day of observance, although an observance isn't always accompanied by a day off, although the state of Georgia recognized Juneteenth as a paid state holiday in 2022. It was that lengthy debate that pushed city council members to seek guidance from city attorney James Green.
Budget-wise, now you got to think about that.
He's saying about June 19th.
Right.
If we adopt it now, we can't do it until next year.
Next year.
Yeah,
Okay.
Despite Green promising to draft up a formal proposal for the day of observance, Burke says the work to make things right and change the attitudes towards the holiday has just begun.
In 2023, we still fighting racism. We still fighting for equality. And a city that now is probably majority African Americans. But still, the few Caucasians that have the most power refuse to even give and take just a little share.
The Macon-Bibb Planning and Zoning Commission votes to defer their decision on a massive new neighborhood development proposal. The applicant requesting to rezone almost 79 acres on the eastern end of Jennifer Drive to build a 368-unit cluster development with 90 single-family townhomes and 278 single-family detached lots. One resident says the development will only lead to more problems in the area.
Not only the traffic issue, there's the issue with the sewer behind the proposed, where they're proposing to tie into the sewer. That sewer system is backing up in Rocky Creek all the time. They can't do what they propose for the walking trails and other stuff in there because it is constantly flooded. There's tremendous amount of water comes through that area.
The Planning and Zoning Commission plans to make a decision on the proposal during their July the 10th meeting date.
And gas prices are inching up in Macon. The average price for a gallon of gas is $3.22, up more than 3 cents since last week and 6 cents higher than last month. Petroleum analyst for Gas Buddy Patrick DeHaan says the average continues to fall for diesel, falling 1.6 cents since last week. Those prices are at their lowest since early 2022. DeHaan says the falling prices for diesel will only help relieve pressure on hard-hit consumers.
Stuck between a rock and a hard place, that's what Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell finds himself as federal officials work to avoid a credit crunch while fighting inflation. The first problem requires loosening monetary policy, the other tightening up the money supply. This might help explain why the Fed is leaning toward pausing rate hikes for this month. It also comes as more Fed officials worry that higher wages might not be causing inflation. Last month's Fed minutes show that fewer believe that's the case, meaning more rate hikes might not be the cure for higher prices. While school may be out for the summer, that's not stopping Fort Valley State University from making an impact.
The university is hosting dozens of college-bound students this week as they tackle self-growth and societal hot-button issues.
Carlos Stevens spent the day at Fort Valley State University to learn how the program is shaping the students' lives.
Guys, this program has impacted thousands of students over the course of 3 years here at the Fort Valley State University. In fact, I talked to some seniors today who said that they're ready to take the material they have learned to the next level.
Going to the next level, I feel like you're stepping into a whole new world.
That's the reaction of FVSU's Rep 4 Summer Summit. The university is hosting dozens of college-bound students in the 11th and 12th grade for the next week. Organizers started day number 1 discussing leadership training, public speaking, and community service opportunities. These students from all across Georgia will tackle societal issues like food insecurity, financial literacy, and mental health. They are also getting a first-hand look at being a college student living in a dorm for the next 5 days. One high school senior we spoke with says the summit experience is one she'll carry for a lifetime.
I love these types of things because it helps my mindset and I can take it back home to my community to help them see that education does spark joy.
One of the joys for students has been starting a mobile food shelter, according to one student.
Food shelters are necessary to give people who don't have the resources so they're able to get the food, but also making it mobile so like disabled people, how they are still able to get the resources.
While these students are learning valuable lessons for their future, FBSU Dean Bette Hairston says this program has allowed some students to help their families.
They even talked about issues that their families were having with financially, and that alongside them, their parents ought to be right here learning about financial literacy. They were blatantly honest about that, and so they're helping to come up with solutions.
Now the university is also offering admission application fee waivers and guaranteed admission upon successful completion of the program. Reporting in Fort Valley, I'm Carlos Stevens, WGXA News.
And one mid-state band is going national. The Baldwin High School Marching Band has been invited to perform at the Liberty Bowl game in Memphis this December. District officials say the invitation serves as a testament to the band's dedication, skill, and artistry.
And get ready to have the time of your life. An 80s classic is coming to life in Macon come December. Dirty Dancing in Concert is touring across North America and Canada in more than 40 cities. A complete screening of the movie will play as a 5-piece band, and vocalists perform the songs live in sync with the film. Guests can stay behind after the movie for an encore party to sing along and enjoy your favorite Dirty Dancing songs. You can buy tickets to the live event starting Friday for the December 9th event at the Macon City Auditorium.
I see what you did there.
You like it?
And Greg, I will have the time of my life as long as nobody puts baby in the corner. That's just what we got to deal with. Mesoscale convective systems. That's what's going to be highlighting our forecast this week. It's going to be clusters of strong storms multiple times over the next several days. Some days could have 1 or 2 of these, and they bring heavy rainfall and gusty winds as they do. And again, it's all thanks to this frontal boundary that's stalled out across the deep south from the Carolinas all the way back towards West Texas. We always say a boundary will act like train tracks for storm systems, and that's what we're going to be dealing with this week. You got one system coming out of Oklahoma and Texas right now, another one diving south from Jackson down towards the Gulf Coast, and then we had that feature yesterday come through, and then this afternoon this boundary is also providing more instability for these showers and storms. So over the next few days, as we look at our forecast model, it'll show you multiple rounds of rain and storms. Again, you just have to watch these. They can come through during the morning, afternoon, or even at night. And when they do, they are very strong. Lots of lightning, heavy rainfall, gusty winds, even some small hail. And a lot of times we don't have to deal with tornadoes with these. We'll keep an eye on them, but mainly with these mesoscale convective systems, it's a damaging wind threat, and that's what we're going to be most concerned with. Along with that, heavy rainfall. Certainly a lot of locations could see multiple inches of rain the next few days, tomorrow, Wednesday, and into Thursday. We kind of dry out as we roll into the weekend, get more of a more typical summertime pattern. But as I said, each day does bring the threat for strong storms. All of middle Georgia under the threat for severe weather tomorrow. It's that level 2 threat out of 5 levels. We'll continue that into Wednesday. Again, level 2 out of 5 levels. And we'll likely see this continued even into Thursday as we get closer to the event. Quiet and calm for many of us. The storms we're seeing this evening will push out of here by the next, say, 7 or 8 o'clock. Tomorrow, here comes that next round of rain and thunderstorms. We'll watch those carefully. They could be on the strong to severe side. Tomorrow night, maybe some more storms. Wednesday, here comes another round we'll be watching as it moves through during the morning hours. Wednesday afternoon and evening, another complex of storms. And then as we head into Thursday, it looks like another one. So that's what we're going to be watching the systems each and every day this week. Each system will bring heavy rainfall, 1 to 3 to maybe 3 to 4 inches. Again, not all at once, but certainly over the next few days, some beneficial rain across middle Georgia, and we could see some isolated flash flooding. We need the rainfall. It's been relatively dry in many spots lately. Your 10-day forecast will feature mid-80s the next few days with scattered to numerous storms tomorrow, Wednesday, and even into Thursday. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday we dry out some with afternoon highs near 90. And your Harrison's Body Shop Fishing Game forecast peaks near 11:40 a.m. or p.m. tomorrow night, and again at 11 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Gary Thigpen, and I'm once again here at the Bibb County Animal Services. I'm joined today with Elvin and Audrey, and guess who we're going to showcase today? A very sweet dog up for adoption.
Oh, this is Hazel. She's about 2 years old, 53 pounds. She's a pit bull mix, very, very sweet dog.
Very sweet.
Very playful, very loving. She's just looking for a good home.
And look at that. How could you see such a sweet dog and just turn it away? Folks, she needs a really good home. You heard Elvin, about 2 years old. You said a pit bull mix?
Yes, sir. And you can reach me at 478-972-4975. And she's also posted on Facebook.
All right, guys, let's go ahead and do that today. Let's find Hazel a really good home. She needs that. So thank you again, Audrey and Elvin.
If you're a lover of all things dairy, this might be the perfect gig for you. The University of Wisconsin-Madison Center for Dairy Research needs a dairy taste tester, and particularly for cheese, pizza, and other dairy products. The perfect taste tester is good with words and can describe the taste of dairy foods, the appearance, texture, and aromas. The tester will also participate on panels, enter their scoring on ballots, and will be on training discussions for products. The tester will try up to 24 cheese samples and 12 pizzas a week. The job is temporary and pays $15 an hour. Where's Ryan Miranda when you need him to tell you that dairy makes him break out?
Oh, well, I will take his job because that sounds like a good thing to do.
Really? You guys think that you could try dairy all day, every day?
Yeah, but I have a weight issue, so that's just going to make it
I would not be able
worse,
to do it either. I was thinking I would gain so
I
much
don't
weight.
think I'd want to try that much dairy. I think
No,
I could
I
try
love it.
pizza, but like not that much. Like 12 pizzas a day? That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Well, you know, a lot of times they tell you just don't swallow, you taste it, and all those guys that are the taste testers spit it out. Like Ben and Jerry's, that guy.
I really didn't
like I'd
think
still
about
swallow
that.
it.
But
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
Okay,
don't
never
know.
mind. I don't
I'm
want
just
to do that.
I watch
don't
too much
spit out
food. Too much Food Network.
That's
see
it
that.
for the news at 5:30.
We invite you to join us at 6 on ABC 16.
Enjoy the hot afternoon, Middle Georgia.